Finn stood frozen in the dim glow of the examination room. For a moment, he thought his mind was playing tricks on him. The woman in front of him, no, it couldn't be. It couldn't be Luna. She was supposed to be dead. Lost. Gone without a trace. Yet here she was, standing in front of him, looking pale and visibly shaken, but unmistakably alive. And not just alive, pregnant. His throat tightened. Luna, he barely managed to say, his voice cracking with disbelief. She nodded slowly, eyes filling with tears. "It's me, Finn," she whispered. Tu didn't know where else to go. He blinked hard, still unsure if this was some cruel dream. But she was real. The tears on her cheeks were real. The slight tremble in her hands. The soft, unmistakable sound of a fetal heartbeat on the monitor beside them. She was alive, and she was pregnant. "Lee saved me," Luna said, her voice trembling. "That night she found me, took me in, told me to disappear, to stay quiet. She said it was the only way to survive." Finn's mind was racing. That night, the one that had haunted him for months, the night Luna vanished. He'd mourned her, grieved, raged, and now here she was, back from the dead with a life growing inside her. "Who's the father?" he asked, though something in his gut already knew. She hesitated, and then, Will. Finn backed away as if the word had slapped him. Will. Bill Spencer's son. This wasn't just complicated, it was catastrophic. He clenched his jaw, hands curling into fists. "You can't just show up here and expect this to stay quiet," he said. "You're walking around with Bill Spencer's grandchild inside you. Do you know what that means? Do you have any idea what kind of danger you're in?" Luna's face crumpled. "Please, Finn. I didn't come here to cause trouble. I just needed to know the baby's okay. I'm scared. I didn't know who else to trust. I can't go to Will, not yet. I just needed to be sure. I should call the police," Finn said, pacing now, trying to suppress the panic rising in his chest. "You've been hiding. That's obstruction. There's a body count surrounding your disappearance. People want answers. You can't just reappear and think it'll all go away." She fell to her knees, sobbing. "Please, don't turn me in. Not yet. I'll tell Will. I'll come clean. I just need more time." He looked down at her, at the desperation in her eyes, and something in him softened. But not enough to ignore the storm coming. "You're playing with fire, Luna. And Bill, he doesn't play games. If he finds out you're alive, let alone carrying his grandchild," Finn didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Luna wiped her face and nodded, shaky. "I know. I'll talk to Will. I'll tell him everything." It didn't take long. Within days, Luna found herself face to face with Will. He was colder than she remembered. More calculating. As if something in him had shifted since she disappeared. "You should have stayed gone," he said flatly, staring at her belly. "Do you have any idea what kind of mess you're creating by showing up like this?" She held her ground. "I'm pregnant. With your child. You don't get to tell me to vanish again," he sighed, rubbing his temples. "That's exactly what I'm telling you. Leave town. Tonight. I'll wire you whatever you need. Enough to raise the kid. Stay hidden. Just don't drag me down with you." She was about to respond when a sound cut through the silence, a breath, a shuffle. They weren't alone. From the shadows stepped Bill Spencer, face like stone. Luna's heart stopped. Bill looked from her to Will, fury burning behind his eyes. "What the hell is going on here?" Neither spoke. Luna's voice caught in her throat. Will stood stunned, his composure cracking. "You got her pregnant," Bill barked, turning on Will. "And now you want to pay her off? Hide her? You think that fixes anything? You think this won't blow up everything I've built?" Will stepped forward, trying to reason with him. "Dad, listen." "No, you listen," Bill snapped. "If this girl talks, if she so much as whispers to the press, or the foresters, or the cops, it's over. For you, for me, for all of us." Luna shook her head. "I don't want anything from you. I'm not here to destroy your empire. I just want to keep my baby safe. Bill's eyes narrowed. Safe? You want safety? Then you shouldn't have come back. The next few hours were a blur. Luna didn't remember being dragged away. She remembered screaming, fighting. Then the cold, the dark, the metallic slam of a door locking behind her. Silence. When she woke, she was alone in what felt like a storage room. No windows, no light except the dim bulb overhead. Her wrists were sore, her stomach cramped with fear. She called for help. No one came. Outside, Bill and Will argued. She's a liability, Bill said. You saw the look in her eye? She's not going to let this go. Will was pale. So what? You're just going to keep her locked up? You think I want to do this, Bill snapped. You forced my hand. You brought this mess to my door. I didn't ask her to come back, no. But you sure as hell didn't think this through. Back in the locked room, Luna tried to count the hours. Her phone was gone. Food came sporadically. She didn't know if it was day or night. Every time she heard footsteps, she prayed it was Finn. But it never was. Finn, meanwhile, had begun to worry. Luna had promised to contact him after speaking to Will, but days passed, and nothing. He called, texted, searched. He went to Lee, who feigned ignorance, her silence sharp as a blade. But he knew she was hiding something. Something big. It wasn't until he caught a whisper from an anonymous source, someone on the Spencer payroll, that the truth began to unravel. Luna hadn't left town. She hadn't disappeared. She'd been taken. Finn's blood boiled. He knew Bill was dangerous, but this, kidnapping a pregnant woman, it was beyond ruthless, it was evil. He began to dig, track phone records, credit card charges, security camera footage. Piece by piece, the puzzle formed. Bill was hiding her, and Finn would find her. But time was running out. Inside the dark room, Luna's strength began to fade. She was dehydrated, disoriented, and terrified for her child. She whispered to her belly at night, telling the baby stories, anything to keep herself from breaking. But her body was tired, and so was her hope. On the fourth day, she collapsed. Finn, meanwhile, had broken into a Spencer-owned warehouse on the outskirts of LA, following a hunch. The building was empty at first glance, but he found the back room, the padlocked door, and then, finally, Luna, barely conscious, pale, shivering. He carried her out with trembling arms, calling 911 as he drove like hell toward the hospital. Later, when Luna woke in a sterile white room, Finn was beside her. She was hooked to monitors, and 4 in her arm. The baby's heartbeat echoed strong and steady on the screen. You're safe now, Finn whispered, voice cracking. Tears slid silently down her cheeks. But the storm wasn't over. News of the kidnapping hit the media like wildfire. Bill denied everything, of course, called it a smear campaign, said Luna was unstable, that she was hiding from charges, that she made the whole thing up. But the hospital records didn't lie, nor did the bruises, or the warehouse surveillance footage Finn had recovered. Will tried to distance himself, claimed he had nothing to do with the abduction, but he was finished. Luna's return had already shattered his clean-cut image, and the revelation of his involvement in the attempted cover-up only buried him deeper. Bill fought tooth and nail, tried to buy silence, spread lies, threatened lawsuits, but for once, it wasn't enough. Luna pressed charges, and with Finn at her side, she refused to disappear again. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for her child. At the hospital, Luna's condition slowly stabilized, but her trauma ran deep. Finn didn't leave her side, refusing to let anything happen to her again. But even as she recovered, he knew this wasn't over. Bill was still out there. And so was the truth, or rather, parts of it. There were still too many missing pieces. After reporting the kidnapping and giving his full statement, Finn requested the official prenatal scan results. He already knew Luna was pregnant, but he needed full confirmation for the baby's health and for proof. The results came back, 8 weeks along. No signs of complications. But what caught his attention most was the timing. The baby had likely been conceived just days before Luna's initial disappearance. He knew he had to confront Lee. Finn drove straight to her clinic, heart pounding. Lee was reviewing patient charts when he stormed in. "We need to talk." Now she looked up calmly, then froze when she saw the fire in his eyes. "It's about Luna." Her face went rigid. "What about her? I found her," Finn said, watching every twitch of her expression. She was being held against her will. "She's pregnant." Lee didn't say anything. Her eyes dropped to the floor for a brief second of flicker, but enough. "You knew, didn't you?" Finn stepped closer. "You told me she was dead." "You lied." Lee took a slow breath, trying to gather her composure. "I didn't lie. I said she was gone." "I never said dead. You knew she was alive." Lee turned her back, trying to shield herself from the truth crashing down on her. "I saved her," she finally said. "She was bleeding out. I did what I had to do. She was in danger. I helped her disappear, but you lost her," Finn snapped. "Didn't you?" Lee's silence said everything. "When?" he demanded. "A few weeks ago," she admitted. "I gave her a burner phone. Checked in every few days. Then nothing. No answers. No calls. No messages." "Why didn't you report it?" Finn asked, horrified. "Because I thought she left on her own," Lee said bitterly. "Maybe she got scared. Maybe she didn't want to be found." "She didn't leave," Finn growled. "She was taken. And you let it happen." That hit Lee hard. A few hours later, word got out. Luna's kidnapping, the Spencer family scandal, and Luna's return had ignited a firestorm in the media. Paparazzi camped outside the hospital, and the police began tracing leads. But Luna's accusations alone wouldn't be enough to bring Bill down. Not yet. That's when Luna dropped another bombshell. "There's a camera. I saw it. In the corner of the room they kept me in." Finn sprang into action. He gave the tip to the detectives, and within hours, officers raided the Spencer warehouse again. Hidden inside the electrical panel, they found the camera and its memory card. The footage was damning. Luna, disoriented, restrained, begging for help. Bill's voice in the background. It wasn't just a case of kidnapping now, it was full-blown conspiracy. With the evidence in hand, the police issued a warrant for Bill's arrest. But Bill Spencer didn't go down without a fight. When the cops showed up at his estate, he was already gone. Vanished. No trace. No security footage. No flight records. Nothing. Just silence. And then the phone call. Finn picked it up in the middle of the night. A scrambled voice. No number. Just a warning. Back off. Or the doctor's next. He knew what it meant. Lee. By the time he reached her clinic, it was too late. The place had been torn apart, overturned chairs, shattered equipment, streaks of blood. No sign of Lee. Panic tore through him. He called the police, who launched a full-scale search. But it was Luna who cracked first, guilt eating away at her. "This is my fault," she whispered through tears. "He's doing this because of me." "No," Finn said fiercely. "This is because of him. Bill Spencer did this. And now, we stop him." The next morning, a note arrived at the hospital. No envelope, just placed on Finn's car windshield. Blocky handwriting, smudged in ink. "You want her back. Come alone. 1:00 p.m. The docs. Finn didn't tell the police. He didn't tell Luna. He just went. Rain poured down as he arrived at the abandoned shipping yard. Crates towered around him like tombstones. Every shadow felt like a trap. And then, through the mist, he saw them. Bill Spencer, holding Lee at knife point. Finn stepped forward, hands raised. "Let her go, Bill. This ends now." Bill's face was wild, not manic, but desperate. "You don't understand. If she talks, if Luna talks, everything I built comes crashing down. Spencer Publications, my reputation, my family. I can't let that happen. You kidnapped a pregnant woman. You tortured her. You think anyone's going to care about your damn empire now? Finn shot back. Bill's jaw clenched. It's already too far gone. I'm not going to prison, Finn. And what? Finn growled. You're going to kill a second woman to cover your tracks. What happens when I talk? What happens when the press finds out you abducted Lee? Bill hesitated. The blade trembled in his hand. And then Lee moved. Fast, brutal. Elbow to the ribs. The knife fell. Finn lunged. The fight that followed was raw and brutal. Fists, blood, rage. Finn held his own, but Bill fought like a man with nothing left to lose. For every punch thrown, years of Spencer arrogance and corruption came undone. It was chaos. But in the end, Finn tackled Bill to the ground, pinning him until sirens wailed in the distance. Bill screamed as he was handcuffed, spitting threats, but it was over. Lee was safe, bruised, but alive. Back at the hospital, Finn and Lee sat in silence for a long time. No words, just shared exhaustion. Across the hall, Luna lay asleep, one hand resting gently on her growing stomach. And for the first time in months, there was peace. But even peace has its price. Bill Spencer was arrested, charged with kidnapping, unlawful confinement, assault, and conspiracy. Will was indicted for obstruction of justice, though he claimed ignorance of his father's final plans. The Spencer legacy was in ashes. Luna made a full recovery. With Finn's support, she decided to keep the baby not as a reminder of trauma, but as proof of survival. And Lee, once the keeper of secrets, became the woman who finally spoke at testifying in court against the man who once ruled LA. With a clenched fist. But even behind bars, Bill vowed revenge. And in a world like the bold and the beautiful, no secret stays buried for long.
Oh.